All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. This is going to be February 7th. Now, there's 7 games today, so it's kind of a sweet spot in terms of value. There's not like 2 games, but there's not like 14 games. And definitely some great plays on the board that we're going to be talking about today. But if you're new here, definitely go ahead and subscribe, like the video. We've been killing it with the likes, killing it with the views. And then comment anything down below. It just helps you to push this video out a little bit more. But if you're new here, we go over our video picks every single time. Now, we've been absolutely killing it, so this is a little bit weird to have a 2 for 3 type day. But I'll talk about them quickly, and then we will jump into the board and attack some value. Also, if you're new here, we go over 5 plays usually, sometimes 4, sometimes 3, depending on if there's a lot of games or not a lot of games. I don't force anything, but I do like to give you guys options. So if you don't like my reasoning behind a pick, you can have some other options. So we go over these. We'll go to Josh Hart. That line was awesome. Jalen Brunson ends up going out with a pretty bad ankle sprain. So this was looking really, really good, but ends up getting 10 points in a game that they won pretty handily at the end of it. And then Paolo crushed his over on assists, ends up getting 7. But the misses here, it was Bam at 11.0. He looked pretty good in terms of the first half, kind of throughout the game, but they did end up getting a big lead against Orlando. Didn't get his full allotted minutes, was pretty close, but unfortunate there in terms of the blowout. And then this Halliburton Nemhard kind of combo, we talked a lot about it. I'm not going to go into it too much, but we knew Halliburton was probably going to play a lot in the first half. That kind of happened. He ended up playing kind of his middle. He only played like 12 minutes, which was more than the 8 minutes, but less than the 16 minutes that I kind of expected. And he just didn't play well. He didn't hit his shots. He was assisting the ball well, but didn't get there. And then for Nemhard, Benedict Mathurin ends up being a late scratch because of not because of an injury, because of an illness. So if I knew Mathurin was going to be out, I probably don't go under on this one. So that was just some unfortunate injury news, but 2 for 3, we'll bounce back for sure. And again, if you've been watching the past few videos, few weeks, we've been absolutely crushing it. And if you want to join a community where we talk sports, I actually just got off a voice call in the Discord where we kind of just talk plays, talk props, attack some value, and then I go into usually filming this video. But this is the Rich Club. This is the official Discord of the channel. And I love to see this post right here. Up 103 units. And he just does $5 plays every single time since January 24th. He actually posted his entries placed. This was a $5 entry right here when he placed it. On the 24th, his balance was 96. And he kind of shouted out the club, shouted out. And it's not just my slips, everyone, we have a lot of good, smart people in this community as we've been continuing to grow. And they know what they're talking about. He seems to tail a lot of those. And now he's sitting at $612 in his balance. So yes, that's not typical. You're not going to go up 103 units in a week and a half very often, or 2 weeks or whatever that is. But we have been on an absolute tear. So I'd love to have you guys here. And I am running a promotion for one more day, I guess 2 more days. I'll show it right here. And you can get 2 months free of the Discord, which is not going to be 2 months after Thursday, February 8th. So that'll be your last day to get the 2 months free. But you just have to sign up using one of my codes and links. So, go click the link in the description for the Discord, find this codes and links tab. You'll see all the, for PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, all those things. You'll get the deposit match, but then also just DM me, send me a screenshot of, hey, I signed up using your code. And then I'll get you in the club for free for 2 months. So definitely a good deal. We continue to grow every single day. It's been wild, the growth we've seen. And we have a lot of fun in here. Again, I ask if you're watching the video and you're in the Rich Club, just kind of try to shout it out. Again, it just helps YouTube push this video out a little bit more, and I'm sure people are interested. So that's a little plug for the Discord, but let's jump into the picks. Absolutely loving these plays today. So let's go to the board. All right, so we're going to start off hot. I love this line, 12.5 rebounds and assists for James Harden. I actually played this line on Underdog and on PrizePicks, and absolutely love this. Just think about Harden, what he's been doing the past 10, 15 years. Obviously, he's not as much as a scorer as he used to be in the past, but he can still dime the ball with the best of them, and he can go out and grab some rebounds. So we can jump an outlier, kind of see what he's been doing so far this year, and we can see a 68% hit rate on the year. 30 of 44 games he's gone under or over this line. And now that he's really gotten his footing, in this Clippers rotation, they're starting to click. They're winning games left and right. They're definitely a championship contender, maybe a championship favorite. And we can go to the last 20 games. Again, a whole lot of green, especially in the past 20 or so games. And it's an 80% hit rate. So hit rate's looking amazing, 20 of 16 games. And a lot of these games, he's crushing this line, 13 double digits assists very often. He can go and grab 5 to 7 rebounds, sometimes 10, like in this game. So a lot of these games that he's hitting, he's crushing this line. And he does have a few misses. Obviously, they're not going to give us a line that's 100% hit rate. This is about as close as you can get. Now, in terms of injury news, we can jump over to RotoWire, kind of see in terms of any sort of injury news. Paul George has been kind of on a minutes restriction, but he is starting to play a little bit more. Where is this game? Where's this game? Clippers right here. So we don't see many injury news, which is kind of good. That's just more people that Harden can pass to. He's not going to get in terms of any usage. He's the point guard of this team. He's going to have the ball in his hands a decent amount. And with Paul George, minutes restriction, he's been killing it. With Paul George not minutes restricted, he's been killing it. So hit rate looks incredible. The injury news, there's nothing to point at. In terms of the matchup, it is a more difficult matchup in terms of point guards specifically, but in general, it's kind of middle of the road. But we do have some head-to-head data here. They have played each other twice this year. And we see back in November, he had 15 RA. And back in January, about a month ago, he had 16 RA. So one that's looking really, really good on Outlier. By the way, if you're interested in this app, they have a free trial as well. So you can go and sign up using my code and get a free trial to this app for a week. So definitely go ahead and try it out. It's something I use every single day. And I highly recommend to anyone that's into sports betting and in general, but also just likes looking at stats maybe. But yeah, hit rate looks incredible. Let's jump over to DG Fantasy. This is where I see market value. So if you're confused by how this works, I'll pop up Harden and I'll talk about the line and kind of showing what the data is telling us as this loads. And we can see rebounds, assists popping up right on top, 12.5. They're giving us a 53.64% chance to hit. Why are they telling that this over is this percentage to hit? Well, it's because FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, all of these other places have this line around minus 130 value. So it's favored to go over that. And then FanDuel, you might see, it says minus 113. That's because they've already bumped it to 13.5. So market value is great. We're attacking a good line here. So not only is the hit rate looking good, the market value is looking really good as well. And then our last data point, we can go to my favorite projection model out there. It's going to be RotoWire. You can get 2 days free trial of this app for, again, 2 days. You don't even have to put your credit card in. Just sign up using my link or just click the link in the description. They'll ask for your name and an email. And this app's awesome too. It's also one of the cheaper apps. It's like $12 a month if you want access to this. So I highly recommend checking it out. But I use it for the projection model mostly. And we can go to Harden here. And we're seeing right on top, they're predicting the over on most of his stats. But the 12.5 rebounds, they're projecting 15.23. So everything is pointing towards the over on this one. It's probably one of my favorite plays of the day. Again, I took it over on PrizePicks and on Underdog. So really, really liking this James Harden play, and you can see why. So starting off hot, really, really liking this, and that'll be our first official video pick. And next up, we're going to be looking at the rookie Brandon Miller, a guy that's been shooting the ball a whole lot lately. And I'm going to be going to his 25.5 points and rebounds on the over. Now, Harden, we saw the hit rate looks amazing on the whole year, on the past 20 games and things like that. This one's going to be very more recent in terms of the hit rate that we're looking at. But let's pop over this page. Again, it makes sense. He's a rookie. This is a bad team. They're dealing with some injuries right now. And he's had the ball in his hands, and they're saying, hey, here's the keys. Go do your thing. For the last 5 games, he's gone over this line, really crushing this line. The one game he missed, it was against Chicago, and he barely missed. He had 24. So love to see that. Now, in terms of the hit rate on the whole year, I don't hide anything from you guys. It's horrible, 21% of the year. Again, he's a rookie. He has to come into the league and kind of learn the ropes. And the biggest thing here that we're looking at is the field goals attempted. We're looking at him playing with LaMelo Ball. We're watching him play with Terry Rozier, who's not even on the team anymore. Miles Bridges, all these guys that have a whole bunch of usage. He wasn't able to shoot the ball much. But now that LaMelo's injured in this one, Terry Rozier's traded. Miles Bridges is still there. He's a good player, but he's not someone you're going to build your franchise around. That's very much Brandon Miller. So again, we're looking at no LaMelo tomorrow. We're looking at no Rozier. He's not on the team anymore. We might get Gordon Hayward back, but I don't think he's going to play as a game time decision. I don't see really why they bring him back, especially with the trade deadline coming up tomorrow on the 8th. They might be trading him. They might be buying him out. So love the fact that he's kind of getting the keys, shooting a ton of field goals. The past 2 games, he's shot 25 times in both of those games. So he's going to be the guy. And then in terms of the matchup, so we looked at hit rate. It's not amazing, but the past 4 games have been great when he's gotten the keys completely to this team. And then in terms of the matchup, I actually really like this matchup as well. We can see on the year points allowed and assists allowed is pretty good, 26th and 19th. Now, this is another team. They're going up against Toronto. They've made some trades. They don't have Siakam anymore. They don't have OG Anunoby anymore. So I looked a little bit deeper into that. And this is the last 7 games. So That gives us a pretty good understanding. And we're seeing that two small forwards specifically, they're giving up, which Brandon Miller is a small forward. To small forwards specifically, they're giving up the most amount of points and also a very good amount of rebounds to that small forward position. So absolutely love to see that in terms of matchup. And then for the odds over on DG Fantasy, are we attacking good market value? His points is popping up also at 21.5. If you just wanted to go to that, you could definitely do that. Pinnacle has this line. I'm curious where they have the points and rebounds line, but 21.5 on points alone is minus 141. That's crazy. But the line we're doing 25.5 is points and rebounds, is around minus 125 value across the board, or FanDuel already has this bump to 26.5. So definitely some great market value. And then in terms of the projection model over here, we can go to RotoWire, and we can go to Brandon Miller, and we can see that 25.5 is his best projected in terms of the over here. They're projecting 26.42, so getting that added bonus, adding or including the rebounds in this line at 21.5 points. It's right there. It's not like they're projecting much less. They're projecting 20.95, so it's right around that line. One of the other reasons kind of I'm going to the points and rebounds line, because he's definitely able to go grab 5 to 7 rebounds, which would be great. But everything pointing great, and when we look at recently, since he's got the keys to this team, since he's been shooting a whole bunch, the hit rate is good. It's about the best matchup you can get. We're getting good market value, and the projection models on the over. So loving Brandon Miller's for tomorrow. I think he shoots a whole bunch, and this Toronto-Charlotte game should be an interesting one to watch for sure. But those are our first two. Let's move into our third play, and that is going to be in the same game. We're going to RJ Barrett. So there's a few different guys I want to talk about in this game. Again, it's going up against Charlotte. Toronto's not a very good defense anymore. Charlotte's not a very good defense. They give up a whole bunch of points, rebounds, assists, all these things. So we're going to be going to RJ Barrett's points, rebounds, assists at 29.5 and going over here. Again, we looked, or not again, but we looked at quickly. We looked into Scotty Barnes. I think RJ is just the most consistent player, especially in terms of his field goal attempts. And he's been able to, grab rebounds, grab assists very consistently as well. But let's just jump over to his outlier page and kind of let the stats do the talking for us. So let's go to Barrett's right here. And again, we're going to PRA. First half PRA is something else I looked into. So if you want to go to that, I don't mind that. I just think this is going to be a close game throughout. Kind of two of the worst teams in the league, the more rebuilding teams in the league. So it should be a close one. PRA 29.5. We got 4 of the last 5 games he's gone over this. In the last 10 games, he's gone over this in 8 of the last 10 games. So really good hit rate since he's gotten traded to Toronto. He's kind of been the main guy in terms of scoring almost, I want to say. Yes, quickly has games. And he was a guy I was looking to at his 15.5 points, honestly. But there's some games where quickly shoots 20 times, and there's some games where he shoots 8 times. Whereas in the field goals for RJ here, it's very much more consistent around, 15.5 attempts is the median here, or the average here. And you can see it's, from 19 to 14, that's much less variance than 20 shots to 8 shots. So I think quickly could have a great game, but I'm going to the guy that has been much more consistent here. So we see the hit rate's been incredible. In terms of the whole year, you have to take this with a grain of salt. He was playing for the Knicks. Now he's playing for the Raptors, and he's one of the main guys. So I'm looking at the last 10 games. That's kind of around where he's been traded. And so loving to see that. And then all greens in terms of the matchup over here against Charlotte. They've actually lost a few guys. So this is going to be consistent. 25th in terms of points allowed, 26th in terms of rebounds allowed, 27th in terms of assists allowed. If you go positionally, I don't always do this, but again, small forwards, it's really good. All greens popping up for small forwards, which RJ is. I guess they're calling him a shooting guard here, but he's much more of a small forward. They'll probably run out quickly, Gary Trent, and then RJ in that small forward spot. But yeah, loving to see the hit rate. Great matchup. But let's go to DG Fantasy. Again, see if we're getting good market value. I will never attack bad market value. If I went to a line and I really liked it, great hit rate, made sense to me, but it was favored on the under, I would never take it on PrizePicks. There's no reason to attack PrizePicks with a bad market value play. But we can see for Barrett, as we pull up his page, we can see that the under for RA is popping up. I don't think that's not an under that I would take, because he's been crushing this line. A lot of the time it's been at 7.5 or 8.5. That's been a crush spot on the over. Now at 9.5, it's just a little bit too steep. But we do see his PRA popping up on the over, 52.17% chance to hit. That's the line we're going to. And again, why is this the case? Well, it's because FanDuel's got this at 30.5 already. Everywhere else that has this at 20 or at 29.5 is very much favored on the over, minus 135 value on DraftKings, minus 120 everywhere else. Interesting to see Pinnacle here at minus 116. That is still favored on the over, but much more of a 50-50 line in terms of what Pinnacle's thinking. But it is good to see that everywhere is favored on the over. So not like the craziest odds, but something that makes sense to me and a great matchup against Charlotte. So the odds were in terms of market value, we're definitely getting a good line here. And we can go to RJ Barrett over on the projection model on RotoWire. They love the PRA. It's his top line on the projections. They're projecting 31.5 on a 29.5 line. We'll take that any day of the week. So another one where everything is pointing in the right direction. Absolutely loving these first three plays. And then in terms of the fourth play, this is kind of one that I'll keep for the Discord. I'll kind of allude to a guy that's been playing pretty well. He's been injured. It's Cade Cunningham. Again, if you have outlier, this one will probably pop up. He's been crushing the past 10 games specifically he's played. Again, he's dealt with injury, came back, and he's actually hit this line in 4 straight games. But I'll keep this one for the Discord. Again, if you want to use any of my links to sign up for PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Dabble, DG Fantasy, I'll get you the 2 months free. And I've already posted those in the Discord, so you'll be able to get access to that. But look into Cade, especially if you have an outlier. He'll be popping up on the page. But in terms of the video pick, we're going to go to one more, and we're going to be talking about Kyle Kuzma. We've gone to Kyle Kuzma a few times. Most recently, we went to his under fantasy score, I want to say, in a video pick, and he ended up scoring 23 points in the first half. But there's always that blowout potential going up against Washington, and that's exactly what happened after a huge first half. He trickled off, didn't end up playing the rest of I don't think he played the fourth quarter, and he still hit the under on the fantasy score. So we're going to be doing a similar thing here. We don't have fantasy scores or dunk lines or anything like that. But if you're in the Discord, we attack that later on in the day, and we've been absolutely crushing dunk lines. It's been insane. I think we've literally missed like 2 maybe since the dunk lines have been added to Outlier. But going under on his PRA here for Kyle Kuzma at 32.5, going up against Cleveland. If you don't know, Cleveland has absolutely smacked these guys, this Washington team, twice already this year. So I highly expect a blowout. I think it's like a 10.5 point spread, which is honestly lower than I thought it was. If I can find that page. Yeah, right here, 10.5 point spread. They are at home, so maybe that's getting a little bit of the boost in terms of the odds. But another thing you can see is that injury list has gone much down, or kind of dissipated a little bit with the addition back of Evan Mobley. Darius Garland's playing again. They're kind of limited in terms of their minutes, but they're strong. And this team has been clicking. I think they've won 14 of the last 15 games. And again, this is a team that crushed these guys without Mobley, without Garland early in the year twice. So let's go to Outlier, check out this Kuzma line on the under. Kuzma has been playing pretty well, especially in games that they can keep close. But again, I'm kind of reading into the fact that I don't think this one will be that close. I clicked the wrong line, but let's go to his PRA, again, 32.5. We're going on the under. Great to see that positive EV thing popping up right here that's saying, hey, this might be a good line. The over I would never go to. Again, it's just not good market value. But love to see this. The DVIG odds, that just means we're getting a good line, minus 143. They want to give it to us. The last 5 games don't look great. Let's go to the last 20 games, or let's say. And it's about a 55% hit rate. And in terms of the full year, it's about a 54% hit rate. So nothing popping off the page right away. But the main thing here is going to be the matchup. This Cleveland team has been great defensively all year. And now with Mobley back, that just is a huge boost for defensive. He might be a defensive player in the year at one point in his career. So love to see that Mobley's back in this. And then the head-to-head is the craziest thing here. So the 2 games they played this year were right here. He had 21 PRA back in January. They actually played back-to-back games. They won this game by 39 points. And then back in January again, the next game, they ended up losing by 25 points, 24 points, and he had 13 PRA. So it's a team that's got his number, a team he's not been able to perform well against. And in games that they've lost, so again, we see the 54% hit rate on the under, which is still more than 50. That's good to see. But in games that Kyle Kuzma and the Wizards have lost, this goes up to 67% of games. So love to see that. When you extend this to like 10-point victories, it's about the same. So when you think about like blowout potential, it's still 67%, but we're getting great odds in games that they lost. And I think that Cleveland's gonna handle business pretty quickly. So hit rate is looking good when you think about that. Really good when you think about that. And matchups looking awesome too. So let's go to his his market value over on DG Fantasy. Get Kyle Kuzma right here. Pop open his page, kind of see where the market value lies, where other books have this line. And we're seeing his steals popping up on the over. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me, but that could happen. Who's Kyle? Who's this guy? Let's go to Kuzma. Learn how to type. Kyle Kuzma, yeah, steals. And then we got PRA as his next best line popping up on the under 32.5 at a 52.1% chance to hit. Again, why is this? Everywhere else it has this 32.5 around minus 120 value. This one, Pinnacle, has it minus 143. So everyone definitely favored on the under. So not only does hit rate look great, especially in games they've lost, matchup makes sense. The market value we're getting is also great. So we're attacking good value. And then in terms of the projection model, I'm not hiding anything from you guys. I think this one is slightly on the over, actually. PRA. It is very, very, very slightly on the over. In terms of their projection, they're predicting 32.76 PRA, which is, again, slightly on the over. I'm not hiding anything. If you want to go fade this one just based on the prediction model or the projection model, that's go for it. But it makes sense to me. I think the Cavs are going to keep rolling. I don't think Washington's going to be the one that slows them down, and everything pointing towards the right direction in my eyes for this one. So those are the video picks. Again, don't forget to look at Cade Cunningham, especially if you have Outlier. Go check him out there. Or if you join the Discord, I've already posted that play. But just to recap, we got James Harden over 12.5 rebounds and assists. Absolutely love that line. Brandon Miller over 25.5 points and rebounds. I expect him to shoot a whole bunch in a great matchup against Toronto. RJ Barrett in that same game, again, great matchup against Charlotte, 29.5 PRA on the over. And then the only, I clicked the wrong thing, guys. That's why we do these recaps. Under 32.5 PRA for Kyle Kuzma is going to round out our video picks. And again, I do want to say one more time, if you want to join a cool community that's growing every single day and get access to all my slips, but almost more importantly, be able to talk to people that are passionate about this, that are sharing their own slips. Hey, what do you think about this line? All day, every day, go ahead, sign up using one of my codes and links in the description of this video. As you're signing up, just make sure you take a screenshot to show that you used my code. And then once you get into the Discord, you can DM me a picture, say, hey, I used your code. And then I'll go ahead and get you guys 2 months free of the Discord. This promotion's only lasting till Thursday, February 8th. It will still be available after that, but it's not going to be for 2 months. So definitely take advantage of the 2 months. If you're confused about where to get the codes or links, they're in the description of this YouTube video. Or if you click the link of the Discord, you'll go into the Discord. You're not going to have access to anything until you read the rules and click the thumbs up. Again, I just want a good community here where people aren't fighting and things like that. So just read the rules, hit the thumbs up here. That will give you access to the free channels. You can look at codes and links there. They're all right here. And again, just DM me. I'm pretty responsive and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. And you'll get it for 2 months free. So it's definitely a good deal. We've been killing it over here. A whole lot of fun too, just talking props in general. I'll go to the poster wins. I kind of showed that one off, but just a whole bunch of wins. These are just all from today, and it just keeps going on. So we would love to have you. I just want cool people in here, which is kind of why I'm saying, hey, 2 months free. It's a pretty good deal. So definitely get your butts in here. But if not, I'll see you guys for the next free picks, which will come out tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great day. Leave the video a like, comment anything down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.